Say on streets.
Our streets.
Say on streets. And main it.
Right.
Main it. Whose streets?
Our streets.
Word on the beat, word on the beat, word on the beat.
Time after time after time after time after time after time after
How your day going so far?
How you doing? So good. Man, oh man, so I've been speaking a lot about you, man, but it's time. We got the real queen on the phone, man. So if you don't mind telling us a little about yourself, where you from, who you are, and like what the work you do in the community.
Oh, okay. That should be simple. So, my name is Queen. I'm a black woman from a stolen tribe on stolen land. I live in the United States, the land of the thief, the home of the slave.
Okay.
Real educated.
You can't be queen and not be educated. Like, yeah.
It was a whole lot. Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's why we called her, man, because she got a lot of wisdom, she got a lot of knowledge to drop on us, man. So, we want to kind of go into, like, what's the, like, the community work that you be doing around the north side, just around the Midwest.
Oh, okay. So, my lane is housing, right? But I do a different type of housing work.
Right.
So I do a lot of organizing around the issues that black folks seem to be faced with. Black folks is in a state of emergency, right?
Right.
And one of the things that I have gotten to see was that people need an affordable place to stay. Affordable, like my rent can't be $1,500 and I'm only making $9 an hour. Right? Facts, right? So that's kind of, some of the issues I organize around. I also organize around community-controlled housing, right? Where the community should be able to say, hey, if there's some organizations out here that could give us some money that would help us fix up some of these boarded up cribs like they do in other states, right? Then we should be able to have our economic wealth come back to us through this housing piece. So getting people on board with that, having several meetings, seeing how we have to go down and protest or meet with city council, who's in charge of making housing decisions, that kind of stuff is some of the stuff that I'm deeply entrenched in.
So, I'm involved in that.
Yeah. So, I'm everywhere. I am on Instagram and I'm on Twitter and YouTube, just talking about those very same issues about housing, because everybody black should understand that this is about race, class, money, and politics. Those are the four: race, class, money, and politics. Those are four things, essence of organizing, and far too often, black folks' pain and suffering is at the forefront of those issues, housing being one of them.
Man, that's real. So, if you don't mind me asking, like, how did you get involved in that? Like, what made you really start, becoming like the advocate for like the housing, you feel me, just the black folks that's going through, housing crisis and really trying to educate themselves, but they ain't really got the
Right. So one of the things that drew me to this is because when I got out of prison, and I ain't take nobody with me, but when I got out of prison, I didn't have, no place to stay. I'm like, come on, man, the word felony hold too much power. I'm trying to get a crib. Y'all steady talking about what happened in my past.
Right.
I don't want to have a brain battle with nobody about what happened in the past, because we already know that black folks historically have been denied wealth in this country based on the color of their skin. So we're not talking about that far back. We talk about, right now people are being released from prison and don't have a place to live. So, when I seen it happen to me, I'm like, man, how many other people is this happening to? And then I started seeing that there were people being released from prisons to shelters or to makeshift shelters, still being supervised, but really not having no place to go.
Oh, man. Man, it's really tough.
Right.
It's really tough. You come from living in a four-wall room to coming home to nothing and nowhere to go, nothing to do, no money, hungry out on the street, and by don't give y'all shelter or y'all have to find ways to make it out. It was kind of hard, especially living in. Well, it ain't kind of hard, but it's kind of hard then because you're getting out. But being in Minneapolis or wherever you is, it's kind of like it's like some folks that really take their time and effort to really push you and help you out, cause they in a good situation.
So when
Correct.
Was you able to able to connect? You feel me? Like not even connect. Was it somebody? Not was it somebody? But was it like how you got the information? Did you have to go seek it on your own, or
Yes.
Or did they help you out, or just inform you or something?
No, actually, while I was on paper, I would request to go and visit other states.
Okay.
So I went out to New Jersey for a little while, and I was in Trenton, and I had seen something that, it just kind of grabbed a hold of me and made me really do this work. What wound up happening to me was I went into an area that was full of, I don't know if you know these Bloods, they call themselves Sex, Money, Murder.
Wow.
And they heavy over there. I'm like 16,000 members heavy. So they were organizing, and they had took a vacant warehouse, and they were not just living in that because they was having like a street war, right? And so long story short, I happened to go there, and so it was just interesting to see that there was some young cats turning their life around with opening up their own program. So they had their own program, right? And so that was interesting right there, okay? That to me was major interesting. And so it just grew for me. It groomed me, and it made me grow from that. Why? Because I had never seen people take an EIN number and turn it into a business, and that turned into employing other people with felony records, and also like the nucleus of that whole piece was about housing, right? And so I really got to grow. So when I came back to Minnesota, I started One Family, One Community, because I learned
Shout out One Family, One Community, one time for one time.
One Family, One Community.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so, I know that, that right there was my basis. Like, in order for you to change something, you have to own something, because that's the issue. Black folks don't own any housing, so how you gonna change the condition of an issue if you don't own anything?
Yeah, no, that's real. So, with all the work that you've been putting in, you feel me, just from the knowledge, just being engaging with the community, you know, setting up these programs and setting up these info sessions, what's one of the differences that you're trying to see, or like what's one of the changes that you want to see happen in the near future, or just before, like, you know, like just part of your legacy? What's, like, I know that you said rent control by the community is one, and you know, affordable housing, but like just as far as you, like, you feel me, like,
where you want to go with it? How far is you gonna push it with?
I'm glad y'all asked, because I want a national movement. I want see, my 501c3 is a national number.
Right.
You know, it's a federal number, so it can be implemented anywhere. So some of the things that I want to see is Black folks being able to buy back their community with vacant properties. You know what I'm saying? And cut the red tape. Like, stop saying that, hey, you need $100,000, because in Minnesota, in order for you to get anything, you need at least $150,000. And let me just briefly say this as an add-on to that. Black folks' wealth is about between $700 to $800, meaning that you might find Black folks that got about $700-800 extra a month put away. Okay?
that's real.
White folks' wealth is $168,000.
Black.
She said 68,000.
Yeah, but it's like with these white folks, like with these white folks, you see how they credit it. You look at a white folks' credit and be like, oh,
Well, they
man,
stick
their
together.
credit score to like,
You know what I'm saying?
to
They stick
90-100,000.
together. They got a network.
Yeah,
You know?
you look at
The
us
network
black
is
folks.
everywhere.
Yeah, so what you think is some of the barriers when it comes down to for us networking? You feel me? Like, what you think that's stopping us from getting that networking going on? You know, creating that Black system where, you know, like, I know for a lot of us, like, it ain't really like you got the co-signers, you got all that type of stuff. Like, you ain't really got access to co-signers, and it's probably like one person in your family that got good credit. So like,
True.
So like,
So
how do
the
you
other
build
thing
that,
about
like, in your
EIN
eyes?
numbers is, you know, you get every EIN number is worth $500,000 of a line of credit, right? And we don't exercise that because we don't stick together, and we're not having those kind of conversations that educate us, right? We're not educating each other on how to make it. We teach each other how to struggle. We don't teach each other how to survive, right? So when we come together, you know, it's a glorious thing. If I could trust you, you could trust me. You know, on top of that, I branched out and got me a dealer's license because I like to ride slick. But I'm not finna pay what Jimmy and Katie go to the car lot and pay. I'm gonna go and get the new Audi Q7 or the BMW or the Mazda. I'm sure you didn't see me roll the hood in it. But you know, but I'm gonna go to the auction, and that's going to save me a whole lot of money. So until we start, you say, how can we all, you know, how can we level up? Until we start having conversations about educating us and stop spending every dollar with Phil Knight on a pair of Nikes or a pair of Jordans, who Michael is supporting prison systems, private prisons, and until we stop doing that, until we start coming together and shopping with each other, and until we start taking them EIN numbers and building trust, right? Because your trust comes, your IRS.govs will give you a trust account. It's free. Okay? You can create a trust. Until you start learning how to do a 501c3, until you start learning about a 501c4, until you start learning about foundations and make that money that you get spend with every account you have, right? Until you start putting up money with you first, until we start putting us first, we're not going nowhere. We're going to be slaves.
That's real. That's real. I ain't gonna lie, you just dropped some major gems on her. She went from the LLC to 503C to the 50. You said a 504? No, like
501c4, 501c3.
Yes, Yep.
But she just dropped a bomb on you, boy. Man, that was some real stuff. I ain't like, it's like that's like an eye opener. You gotta real life pay attention and keep your ears open, because man, that was just something like that you gotta real life pay attention for a life and like a lifestyle.
Yeah, and
right.
I know, like for us,
that's the wonderful thing about podcasts. They can play rewind.
Yeah,
rewind.
That's real. So Queen, man, like, so what should we be looking for or like forward to in the future from you? You know, like we about to get ready to close this one out.
I'm about to do some major things. So some of the stuff that I do, I throw events and I give out $25 gift cards for the people to show up from the community, and I also feed people for free. So some of the things that I got right on the agenda is to do some youth violence prevention work. The other thing that I'm thinking on is doing this Minneapolis speed limit, because the city is changing the speed limit, lowering the speed limit on some of their streets, but the county is not doing that. Okay? And so people need to know, well, what's the speed limit? The speed limit on this street might be 20. The speed limit on this other street might be 60.
We call them speed traps.
Man, that's what it is. Speed traps for real.
They'll be speed traps, man. They try to get them ticket numbers up.
Correct. And who usually is impacted by that? Right? It's us. Right? Because somebody might be, somewhere rolling down the street and ain't paying attention and whoop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking and educating about that, because the city is pushing that, and I don't think it's fair that if you're pushing something new, that the residents in the city don't understand what kind of changes is coming down, right? Okay. And so we want to make sure that people are well informed, if anything. Okay. So that goes along with my little. I gotta plug this right quick if y'all don't mind. So I'm a commissioner with the city of Minneapolis. I sit on the Housing Advisory Commission for Mayor Jacob Fry, so I advise the mayor, and I also sit as a commissioner with the Neighborhood Community Relations Department down at the city, and so I advise the city council. So when you talk about building power, it's back to the four things I said before. This is about race, class, money, and politics. Okay. And you got to be all in when you black and you've been disadvantaged, So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, well, we about to get ready to tune on now, man. We're about to get ready to end the podcast. But the last thing we want to ask you, just as young black brothers, man, like, how do we, you feel me, basically, we listen to everything that you saying, you feel me? But how do we keep that energy going, for the next generation?
Yeah.
You feel me? Because right now,
moving on to the next people, so the people that we know, like the people that we seen going through the struggle, or how we changed it from our better perspective of looking at it and stuff. You feel me?
So how can we let other black folks know or spread the word? Or how can we help get them connected with the resources and the knowledge that you got going on? I know that you said you're on Instagram, you're on social media, but it's so after we leave this conversation, how can we help this message be spread? It's on podcast right now, we on Facebook Live too, so everybody's tuning in, they're hearing your message. But how can we further advance this? We were talking about networking and building, how can we further advance this for you?
So I think that joining me, right now, I got another little thing with the brothers that's in Mississippi. They got a big rally tomorrow down in Mississippi about prison reform. So I think that if you in tune with me, you join me, you locking up with me, you rocking with me, you gonna definitely get the message, and then you seek the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the other things that's going to be very helpful moving forward. Seek knowledge, seek truth, and understand, because signs and symbols is for the conscious minds. And, then we got the awareness, the conscious minds right there on my page. So, just make sure y'all just stay in tune. Just stay in tune with me. You can reach me at 354-9855. That's a 24-hour plug right there.
Ooh. Y'all hear that?
And she also said that she got some money for y'all if y'all coming through and come work, man.
$25 gift cards, that's it.
$25 gift card. Y'all join in. She help these y'all. She help with supervise, help you out in life. And she push you through another level in life.
Yes, we gonna do some housing stuff. It's definitely gonna happen. It's gonna be some real housing stuff. It's not gonna be the stuff that is watered down. We gonna definitely do some housing stuff that's not watered down.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, you know, we gonna stay in connection, man. And the next time, man, we're gonna have you know, we ain't gonna really talk too much about it on this episode, man. But another episode, we wanna get you on here to really, you know, talk about your experience in that transition, going in from being, you know, in prison. You feel me? Like, you know, like. Man, we've been seeing the Mississippi pictures, man. We see them slave-like conditions. And, you know, being able to go from being, you know, being restricted, you feel me, physically, but, then coming back out and then really being able to reshape your mind and reshape your mind. You feel me? Like, and then now you making, like, they basically try to put a label on you, but at the same time, you making, like, best contribution to the community right now.
It was like a minor setback for a major comeback.
Yeah, like a minor setback for a major comeback. But it's like having that mindset that this is a major comeback for you. Like, so, you know, on the next episode, we're going to get you really to talk about that. You feel me? If you don't mind sharing.
Anytime.
All right, y'all. Well, this is Ian's podcast. We got Queen on here, man. Y'all tuned in.
Steven Norman, man. Check out my Facebook page, LMB, Dreadhead, 119. You can check out my Facebook page, Steven Big Business. Check out all that, everything with the same name. YouTube, everything.
And y'all can go follow Queen at One Family, One Community. You feel me? Facebook, Instagram. She already did, man. She gave y'all a number, man. So press rewind.
Check out.
You feel me? And
check out.
And basically, like, man, just listen to the jewels that she got for y'all, man. She didn't put you on money plays. She didn't put you on just the legal structure of business. Man, she didn't run the light about, man, everything that's just been going on from, you know, just housing situation. And also, man, it's a Facebook group that's out there. Yeah, you feel me? It's a community out there with like-minded individuals. You feel me? That's talking about it. Yeah, you feel me? So we appreciate you, Queen, for all the knowledge and also all the resources that you just gave us right now, man. We're going to be tapping in real soon.
Yes. Well, I'm Queen Nucci and I approve this message. Y'all good.
All right, Queen.
You have a good one. Have a blessed day.
Yeah.
And the rest of y'all have a blessing.
Oh, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, but we about to tune out, man. This Ian's podcast, Ran, and Steve, man. All right, we out.